welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy and today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful Czech Dagger fan necklace. We're going to use our 0.18 rose gold cable wire. We've got our Czech Dagger beads, our Miyuki seed beads, a lobster clasp, 2 4mm jump rings, some qalaats and some crimp beads. We'll also be working with our flat-nosed pliers, round-nosed pliers and side cutters. Start by giving yourself 50 centimetres of wire. And you're going to put a crimp bead on first, but we're not going to crush this just yet, so we're just going to thread that onto the wire and then follow with 3 seed beads. Next, put on one of your Czech Dagger beads and then in between each dagger bead we're going to add a seed bead until we've got the full strand threaded up. The seed bead in between each will just give us a nice spacing so it fans out beautifully on the neck. As you'll see, it's starting to come along and it's giving us a very nice pattern. And once the last Czech bead has gone on, finish again with 3 seed beads and a crimp. So we have our 2 crimp beads on our wire. So we're going to get both ends of the wire even and just slowly run your hand towards the beads so that we have them centrally spaced. And then with your flat-nosed pliers you're going to crush the crimp bead, so a nice firm squeeze onto the crimp bead, and this stops the beads moving along the wire. Just to make it easy for yourself, just flip that round. Obviously if you're left-handed, work to the side that's easiest for you, and then we're going to crush the crimp bead on this side. And this has stopped the beads moving from left to right. And this will prohibit the fastener from sliding to the front of your necklace. You then want to choose the length for your necklace, depending on who the project is for, and take the excess wire off. So with the side cutters, just take those excess bits off. Do make sure that the length is even from your crimps to the top of the wires. Okay. You now want to thread the wire into our qalaat. This has a small hole at the bottom, and when we thread it, we want the hook to be facing up towards the fastener. So you just take the wire through the hole and then let that fall out of your way for the moment, And then we're going to put our crimp bead onto the end of our wire. You can just grip the crimp bead with your pliers and move it up towards the end of the wire, and then you crush it in place. Try to get this as close to the end as possible, as we've chosen the length. Once it's crushed, that bead's really nice and secure. So just repeat that on the opposite side. So go through your qalaat, make sure the hook's facing away from the beads. Let that fall out of your way for a moment. The crimp bead goes onto the wire, and then we crush this as close to the end as we can. And that's really nice and secure. You then want to bring your qalaat up to the crimp, and you're just going to close the two sides so the crimp's inside the qalaat. You don't need to crush this, you're just closing it around. The crimp is holding that in place, but this will stop it from scratching when worn. So I'll just show you that step again. So the qalaat comes back up the wire, and the crimp is going to sit inside, and then with the pliers, we just want to gently close that around the crimp bead. So there's your two qalaats on the end there. The next step is to open a jump ring. So we're just going to hold the jump ring with the pliers, and then we're going to open the jump ring, and at this point we're going to hook it onto our lobster clasp and then close the jump ring back together. I find it easy if I hold the qalaat on the edge of my finger with the hook up, and then if I add the jump ring, it stays out of my way whilst I close the hook together. So one side of the prong underneath and one on top for the pliers, and then you're just going to gently tease that in. Again, we don't need to crush this. Once it's closed together, there's no gap, and the fastening's on nice and securely. On the opposite side to the necklace, again, hold the qalaat comfortably so that the hook's facing upwards, and then if you add your jump ring on, we don't need a fastening on this side as well, as that will connect together, and then we just close that over and make sure there's no way there's any gaps left. And that's the fastener finished. It's a very beautiful, lightwear, comfortable necklace, this one. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you again for our next tutorial. Goodbye!